Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV and welcome to the Mandem Talk. This episode is sponsored by Boohoo Man. If you want to go and get your latest Boohoo Man gear, go check it out. Boohooman.com, boohooman.co.uk, sorry. Use the QR code next to Tyrone. Make sure you go scan that. It'll take you right to Boohoo Man. And if you use the code Saeed when you get there, get 40% off. Or you could go down in the link in the description, go into that link. It will take you directly there. And then you could go and use the code Saeed over there, 40% off. Big up to Boohoo Man for sponsoring the video. Lads, what we saying? What we saying, man? How's it feeling right now? Because Kaz was a bit deflated yesterday. So I'm going to go over to Tyrone. I'm going to go over to you. Big up to yourself as well. Back up Trafford Tunnel. You get me? I see you. I see you. Come on.
Yeah, bro. God, do you know what? We neglected it for months, man. I'm thinking we went through the hard times. Now we've got to get up through the good times as well, man. But yeah, big up, man. Big up everyone as well, locked in from Never a Foul as well. We're live on thereafter. But yeah, do you know what, Saeed? I'm going to be honest with you, yeah? Normally I'm proper vexed after like draws and defeats, but I'm not actually that bad. Yeah. Which I don't know if might be in the minority. Like, I'm not actually feeling that bad. It's annoying, right? We should have beat Leeds. I get it. They're not that great at the moment. They haven't really got a manager. 2 points dropped. I hear all of that, and we could have been level with City, which we should have been. But I'm just trying to see the positives out of it, of Sancho coming on and obviously changing the game. United having that mentality to fight back from 2 goals down. Probably should have got a winner as well, is what I think personally. That annoyed me. But bro, I got to be real with myself. 13 home wins in a row. Did I expect that this season probably under Ten Hag? No, I thought there'll be more bumps along the road. Bro, this is just a bump along the road. This is what's going to happen. This is what happens. We're not a perfect team yet. We're a team still progressing. We're a team still learning under Ten Hag. And he's finding out more about these players. And you know what? Yesterday was another learning curve and a blessing for us. Because in the summer, I already think he's thinking about what he's going to do. So, bro, like, at the end of the day, these sometimes little draws and defeats can be blessings in disguise. My boy said to me the other day, imagine we didn't lose to Brighton and Brentford. Maguire, players like that would still be in the side because we might have gone on a good run and he's thinking, now I'm going to play them. These other players wouldn't have come in, maybe we didn't lose or draw them games. So, yeah, man, I was annoyed, but 10 minutes after, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and see the positives out of it long term.
Absolutely. No. I think for me...
Human.
Yeah, Kaz was like, yo, let's leave Old Trafford straight away, man. I don't know, man. I think Kaz, what you got to realize, Kaz, is we can't win every game. That's football. And also, like, I think for me, I don't want to say this, but at least we went out and gave it all. Like, I don't think there was anything we could have done more.
We could have. We could have defended. I could have got to my seat.
Of course, I could have
got to my seat with a long ass line. Yeah, with that long. I've never seen a line so long before. Just to get into the stadium, just to sit on my seat.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as I sit down, like my head's down, looking like place yourself, and then I hear cheering. I'm thinking like, Rob, we scored already. Nah, brother, it's not a game. We didn't score. They scored in front of the in front of us, man. Trafford, then, bro. Like it was. Bro, it's not even that I wanted to leave because it was because I was just annoyed. It's the fact that it was cold. I brought the wrong wear.
Welcome to Manchester.
For the first time, no, it's not welcome. I've been there too many times, anyways. Like at this point, I've been there literally every home game. So
it's your fault. I told you to bring your other jacket, but
you know what? No. I checked the weather, yeah. The weather is no wind. When it comes to Manchester, especially Old Trafford, yeah, it gets very windy. Yeah.
It's a canal, man.
There was no wind. He said there was no wind. So I thought, yeah, you know what? I'll bring a jacket, a warm one, but not my typical, warm like because last week was quite hot. So I thought, yeah, I don't want to sweat. Bring my other jacket, cool. I said, you know what? I'll bring even a lighter thing, like clothing, light, all that. It's calm.
So it was one of them ones. Wrong coat, wrong result.
Wrong coat, wrong result. We're blaming it on you, Kaz. We're blaming it on you.
It's the fact that it's because I should have been in the stadium a little bit early. We wouldn't see it because I don't. When I go and sit down properly and everything, we're usually flawless, man. It's calm, innit?
Yeah.
What do you like, Saeed, by the way? Like, because obviously you don't seem too down yourself, No,
I'm not too down. It's a new Saeed, man. I told you, man. This ain't the old Saeed, man. I'm patient this season. I'm patient with Ten Hag. I know the plan. It's going to be ups and downs, people. It is going to be ups and downs. But you know what, man? I see it as a fighting spirit. I see that the team are not giving in. I see that there's a robustness about us, this season, especially at home. One loss all season. I just think it's one of them days. Bro, Meslier saved about 2 or 3 unbelievable saves. We just couldn't get in it. And I think for me, ultimately, listen, I want to see more from the bench, but there isn't nobody on the bench, man. Bro, my man bought, what's it called, Malassi on the right and Lindelof. When he brought them 2 on, I knew the game was over because I said to myself, they're not going to give us anything. That for me, I would have probably stretched Sabitzer and Dalot. I think we could have got something with that. But we have to think long term. We have to think about the future. But listen, I just think for me, it's one of them days. I think defensively we were naive. I think certain players just probably, we will discuss on it. And we're not going to hear bash any players because they've all done well this season. But I just think Ten Hag slightly got it wrong for me in certain sense of not playing your best player on the left-hand side. I'm sorry, Ten Hag. And this is where we have to have valid criticism. You don't compensate Garnacho on the left-hand side for your best man in Rashford. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. I think for me, he got it wrong there. You should have played Rashford on the right. And if it means Garnacho's on the right, then so be it.
You mean Rashford on the left? You should have played Rashford on the left.
Rashford on the left. So be it. That's my own opinion. But it's one of them. He tried to fit Garnacho in. He wanted fresh legs. Anthony wasn't available. And this is what it is. And I think for me, ultimately, Leeds had a game plan. And in the first half, it could have been ugly because I think the first time they had so many
What's wrong with Anthony, by the way? Just want to know. Does anyone know Faz, Ty?
Nah, I don't actually.
Faz would know. Faz would know. He's Mr. Access here, man. Faz, how are you doing? We didn't even say to you, hello, man. Faz, are you all right, bro?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Hope everybody's okay. Hope everybody is well. Listen, a bend in the road is not the end of the road. Do you understand? It was just a little bend.
Yeah, we allowed them.
We should all be proud that these players brought it back from 2-0. Lads, when we concede 1 goal, we used to say, write the game off. It's all right. Leave it. Yeah, it's done. See you later. See you next game. We go again. There's none of that. We fought. We brought it back. They gave you moments. Yes, we failed the task in general, which is win the game. We should win the game. But as fans of Manchester United, as critical as we are of our own team, we must give props to Leeds. They came out and they did what they had to do. We don't credit other teams enough, and we're so quick to credit Arsenal and all of these other teams. Leeds did a job, man. They came out and they started pressing from minute one. They were physical. They knew it was a derby. You could tell Man United straight away. They felt like, oh, it's home again. Another home game.
Yeah,
another home game.
Yeah.
Sorry, Said, go on.
No, I was going to say that was a difference. They knew it was a derby going into it. I don't think we did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, go on.
They came, they knew that we are the underdogs. Everybody wrote us off. One thing that we can do that is in our control is run. One thing we can do that is in our control is tackle. And that's what they did. I thought at one point they were going to injure Garnacho. I thought they were going to injure Bruno. They were tackling our players so much, but that's what they did. And manager bounced. They didn't have a manager. I didn't understand who was on the tactical area. They had like 5 guys in the tactical area giving. I swear, Chris Armras was talking to this guy who was talking to that guy. One guy had headphones. I don't understand who was managing what, but nonetheless, I believe, my firm belief is we got comfortable playing at home. That complacency of feeling like, yeah, it's another home game. We'll smash them. Rashford is ready. He's going to score. You must understand that complacency cannot be accepted. And you saw yesterday, lads, Ten Hag was the most vocal I have ever seen him.
I've seen it as well.
I've never seen him vocal like that. You can go and check all the footage that I made, sat behind him. The guy was going sick at the referee. The guy was going sick at Fred. He went sick at Luke Shaw, at Sabitzer. He was going sick at everyone. But overall, Leeds, they got the first minute goal. And guess what? That injected so much adrenaline into them. That did it. What we needed to do is make them feel like they're away. Instead, what they did is almost feel like they're at home. Because Leeds crowd, they're loud as it is. We all know they got the goal. Wilfred got the goal. And that's it. Bob's your uncle. Ever since then, you saw how they pressed. Bamford, all of their players, they were on it. And we just kept getting this little bug from last season where we're hesitant. I saw hesitation from Varane. I saw hesitation from Martinez. I saw hesitation from Dalot. I didn't notice these hesitations last good few games, but there was hesitation. And I think, I'll be honest with you, when you're Varane and Martinez and you're looking in front of you and you see a brand new player, you've never played with him, you don't know what to expect from him. It's going to have uncertainty. Poor Sabitzer, it's his first game starting for Manchester United in the worst way possible as well. Let's be honest. It's not the best scenario for him.
Leeds are not the team you want to play in your debut, man.
To be fair, he grew into the game. He grew into the game.
He did grow into the game, but you have to consider from a squad perspective, nobody understands how he plays. He doesn't understand how everyone plays.
But I thought it was a bit naive from Eric Ten Hag to think he was going to fit like a glove because I was...
No, I don't think it was naive. But he didn't have any option.
I think it was.
Ten Hag didn't have any option.
I saw Fred near the striker and Bruno near the striker and even Sabitzer and there was a lot of times where there was a hole in the midfield because Sabitzer didn't know where to really be. And we all thought that he was going to go a bit more pragmatic until Fred dropped a little bit more when he went sick at him in the 30th minute or something. Then we started gaining a little bit more control. And then Bruno finally started getting the ball a little bit more. Finally passes to Garnacho where he should have finished his dinner or passed it. And he didn't. You know what I mean? Guy needs to change his boots, by the way. He needs to change his boots.
We will talk about Garnacho. Big up to Adam Fahimi, my guy. He says, I don't agree we're too reliant on Rashford. There's a strong case to make that he has a negative impact on the team. Wow, that is strong, my brother. I know you have a Rashford agenda, but brother, he's been... Listen, let's see what he's got to say. He scores, but we play better when he's at the 9, not out wide. Send me the link. Okay, I'll send you the link then. Okay. Tyrone, you want to respond to this? Do you think he has a negative impact on our team?
I don't think he has a negative impact on our team. I think if anything, he's a unique player in our team. And me and Adam agree a lot on a lot of things, by the way. So big up Adam.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable. I don't think he's a negative on our team. I think at the moment in a team that is in a transition phase or we're trying to learn the Ten Hag way, because he's like an outlet, a bit like a Heung-min Son, he can provide something out of nothing. He has that raw pace. He has that ability to conjure up things. And we've seen it, 20 goals all season now, 33 games. Like, we've got to respect it, to be honest. Have I got an echo?
No. Is it echo?
Oh. No. Sorry, it might be mine. That's cool then. I think we've got to give Rashford more his props rather than saying shout him with negativism, should I say? Because look, only a year ago, some of us were on streams and we were saying, you know, maybe it's time for him to go, or you know, this is his last season to prove himself under Ten Hag. Otherwise, it might not work out. He's come back. He's responded mentally. He's been consistent, which a lot of players haven't been consistent, even when we're talking about injuries, not even just performances. I think, you know, fair play to me, stepping up and showing that he can be the man at 20 now. You know, if he wasn't playing, I'd worry even more, because I do feel like in games like that, where you're playing a bit poor and you're weather, you players that can just produce something out of nothing. That header yesterday was a brilliant header. People talk about Weghorst being there and he's more the physical aspects and stuff. He goes off, we put the cross in, and Rashford actually finished that. When I was watching it, I was like, he ain't getting that. Brilliant header. So it's showing different parts to his game, which he's learning from Benny McCarthy, man. I don't get it, though. I don't think
I don't get sometimes.
What you're going to say about not crossing for Weghorst?
I can praise Ten Hag, but then this is where I criticize him now. And maybe that's not even actually down to him. It actually might just be down to the players' decisions. You know what I mean? So I'll play both cards right now, yeah? We got a 6'6" man in that box, 6'5", whatever you want to call it, yeah?
Yeah.
In the first half, I get it, you got two wingers who like to shoot and not cross. Like, there's Anthony, who's probably a bit more of just your normal style winger. And
Anthony, listen, people want to.
It goes to show, and like I say, we were talking about it. We're talking about what he brings to the team, the hard work and graft and everything, and giving a different dynamic and a shape to the team. That's what he does. So, but what I don't get is that, yeah, I get it. Weghorst's link-up was very good. But we don't pump the ball into a 6'5", especially when Stroud got injured. Why are we not pumping the ball into the box and getting some good crosses on? Like, fullbacks, get higher. You know, Luke Shaw put in some very good whips yesterday. Bruno, why are you not crossing? You're one of the, probably, if not the best crosser of the ball that we've got in the team currently that's fit. You know what I mean?
I disagree.
Well,
you see his corners?
No, I get his corners, but actually, two of them we could have done those. Saeed, to be fair, Varane had a very good chance in the corner in the first half. But anyways, not the point. It's the point is when we came off. Why did we try to pump the ball into Rashford? Yes, one of them worked. Why not do some more then? It worked a couple times. Obviously, we played a lot of low crosses, but we couldn't finish it from there. Fred, I think he was on the end of about 3 of them, and I think Bruno might have been the end of 1. Rashford might be on the end of another. So that's why I don't really want nobody get onto Weghorst, because we wasn't really playing to his game. And before,
that's my point.
When you put Rashford over there, that's Weghorst and Anthony have this thing where Weghorst has got close to him, and we've been seeing him link up, hold up a little bit better. He wasn't as close this time. Garnacho wasn't linking up with him either. So it's a lot of questions, and you know, the first half, what we can really say, it was a shambles, and that's it.
You know what? Big up to Adam, who's here. You can respond to your own super chat. You know what I mean? Big up to sending super chat, by the way. You don't think it's a bit harsh, or are you kind of seeing the bigger picture? What do you mean by what you said?
What I said is, I don't think it's either harsh or generous. I'm trying to be very, very honest in what I say and what I see. And the thing I see is with Rashford, just look at the whole season. We played our best football when he was number 9, Sancho on the left, being slaughtered and abused by everyone, Anthony on the right. We played against Spurs. That is the best Ten Hag football we played all season. And Rashford at the moment has been scoring goals. But every time we removed him from the left and put him at 9, he's been less involved in the entire build-up. He touches the ball less. He has a very good threat of going behind the lines, good speed. He's been improving his header a lot. You know, he scored a very good goal yesterday. So he's more of a threat there because he's not as much involved, and he's not a very good partner for a fullback. So it feels to me when Rashford is not that involved in the entire game, the whole team does better. It's not an agenda. It's not this. It's not that. If you think about it, if you look, he scores good goals, but does he play well? I don't think he does. He scores goals. And if, let's suppose, think of the last performances. Let's think about the last 2 months, per se. If he doesn't score those goals post-World Cup, are you happy with his overall performances? If you're being honest with yourself. If he
I
doesn't,
think there's better performances I see than last season. I think he keeps the ball better. I think he's
Great.
when he's trying to take man on, there's a purpose now. I do think that it is better in terms of what he's doing this season than he is last season. Okay, there's going to be tendencies to certain things that he might get wrong, but I think ultimately I see a more positive impact in his game. That's my opinion.
Yes, but let's not forget that last season he was beyond atrocious. This is not the Rashford we should compare himself to. We shouldn't compare him to last season. Last season was terrible for everyone. It's just not a good comparison point.
Do you know what, Adam? Go on. No, carry on.
Now, the thing that bugs me is he has the highlights in mind. If he successfully completes a dribble, he shoots. He doesn't look for the pass. He almost immediately shoots. And you have to think, and you have to be honest, because we're Manchester United fans. Does he look for the goal or does he look for the right thing to do? And that's something that bugs me.
Okay, he's more an inside forward that would want to score goals, a bit like how a Mo Salah does get numbers, but then Mo Salah sometimes doesn't have a great game. I kind of look at him a bit similar in that aspect. But if you're looking at Sunday already, I do agree with you in your logic in terms of I actually would prefer Rashford as a number 9 this Sunday, and then I'd be putting Jadon Sancho out on the left because I feel like he retains the ball better. He thinks more like a winger. He knows positionally where to be, which allows the fullback to get forward. So I do understand your logic. I just thought you were more coming on the angle that you don't really rate Rashford as a player. But if you're saying that you actually prefer Rashford as a number 9 to a left winger, I understand and actually agree with you. And in some games that will work. I don't think Rashford's our best number 9, by the way. No. In terms of what we've got right now, I definitely do believe in some games he could be used there because he is a good finisher. He is kind of like a Bruno version of a midfielder where they don't control games like an Odegaard or David Silva, but Rashford's not going to get the ball and, do amazing passes and drop in like Kane. But he will get you goals. He will get on the end of things. And I actually think this Sunday would be the time to play him over Weghorst up front and put Sancho in on the left and give him a start.
Exactly.
Are we? Can I just come in? Can I just come in if that's okay? I just want to make a few points. You have to understand, Adam.
Turn your mic down.
Turn it down a little bit. Turn it down a little bit.
The game.
Okay, cool. Is it okay now? Is it all right now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
okay, cool. Yeah. So as I was saying, is you have to understand, right? Rashford and other players like that, they are in essence not creators. They don't create. They score goals, right? You look at some of our other wingers, Anthony, Pelestri, Sancho, Garnacho, they are all creators. They create on the pitch. They create moments. They create assists, passes, right? Anthony, you look at, he's able to hold the ball. Pelestri, he's able to hold the ball. Garnacho, he's able to beat a man and whip the ball in. But Rashford always will look to cut and score a goal. That's his DNA, right? That's always easy. Now, when you take Rashford out of the game, out of that position and put him somewhere else, what that opens up is the likes of Sancho, the likes of Pelestri, and it opens up overlapping. You saw Luke Shaw pass to Sancho. Well, it wasn't a pass, but it comes back to Sancho. Sancho gets the goal. You saw Pelestri. He doesn't come on the inside too much, but just enough that gives Dalot the option to go. But you won't get these things with Rashford because once he cuts in, he doesn't see the overlap. He sees goal. That's all he sees. And that's just how his DNA is. Is it that we should take that away from him? No. It's a tactical thing that Ten Hag used, especially yesterday. He said, who's going to be the most effective in the middle other than Val? It's Rashford. Who's been the one person who could head the ball this season and get a goal? It's Rashford. Who's been the one player who could tap the ball and get a goal in between the stick? It's Rashford. So let me put Rashford in the middle. Let him be. He's done his running, right? He's done his running. Let him stay in the middle, chill. Let me put Sancho on. Let me put Pelestri on. And that's when you saw Dalot dropping a bit of shoulder and going a bit forward. That's when you saw Luke Shaw trying to cross the ball and whip the ball in from, edge of the line and get the ball in the box. This is a tactical thing. My thing is, Weghorst doesn't get service, which is true. Nobody's denying that. But you have to understand, when Weghorst is on the pitch, 50% of service has been already taken away from him. Ask me why. Because Marcus Rashford is on the pitch. That's half service that's already gone. You're not getting it. That's 50% gone. On top of that, Anthony, don't even get me started on Anthony. At least he holds the ball. Now to yesterday, why didn't he get the service? Traditionally, what you would see is Anthony to Casemiro, to Bruno, to Anthony, and then maybe back to Bruno, and then service. Maybe Casemiro, Anthony, Ericsson, then a service. You always see what we call recycling ball. We didn't recycle the ball. Ask me how many times did Sabitzer get a pass yesterday? Not many. He barely got a pass. Majority of the time, he's just tackling and trying to intercept and get a ball like that. Normally, you would see Casemiro get a ball, release again. We recycle. Yesterday, there was no recycling. Just hope for the best when you go down the wings. And it at the end of the day, what it comes down to, we didn't have our main 11 players. And we're so reliant on Marcus Rashford for moments. And it showed when he doesn't give moments, it doesn't look good.
Exactly.
I still think we lack something though, and the starting lineup lack technical players, bro. So Marcus Rashford is not a technical player. That when I mean technical, I mean you can't get the ball off him, kind of things. Neither is Garnacho, neither is Weghorst. There's no like, you know, as soon as Sancho and Pelestri come on, they're players that don't really lose the ball, if I'm being honest. So the ball is just stuck to their feet more time, and there was obviously there's no surprise why we kept the ball and then was on them pretty much 24/7.
Yeah,
So there was lacking that. When you take out Anthony, who is a ball to feet type player, and he can keep the ball, and also a Casemiro, if you like it or not, I know he's not the most pretty in the eye, but his positioning is so good. And yes, he might get pressed here and there, that he's pretty much, you can't really tackle him, to be fair, because he's just a rock. Do you know what I mean?
Can I challenge this point? There's a point here I want to challenge. It says here, Workhouse to not get into position. Listen, I'm on the east stand. I've got the tactical view here. Sometimes, you know, when you're watching certain plays, you're like, why is it Weghorst? Bro, he's getting into the positions. But what we're doing is, the wingers, sometimes I feel like they hog the ball. And Garnacho's a young kid. But bro, release that ball first time, my brother. And that's what he wasn't doing. There's a feeling of, you might not say, oh, you know what? Because at the end of the day, yeah, on TV, maybe you see one side of the story. But when you're at the ground, you can see Weghorst is making a run. There was one moment in the game where, I think was it Rashford or Bruno? They had to just play him in, and they went wide. I don't know if they don't trust his pace, if they don't trust, I don't know, his ability. Maybe the players don't trust his ability. I don't know. But for me, when has he got him behind once? And that for me is down to players as well, not passing. And first time, you got to do it first time. They don't do it. A lot of ball hogging, a lot of, you know, trying to take people on. And Garnacho is young and he's going to understand that. But I just feel, for me, Weghorst is been harshly criticised. Yes, he's not the quickest player, but I tell you what, man, there is no service for him.
I say he's not quick; he's deceptively quick. People don't understand what I mean by that, because it's when he's actually got a bigger burst of pace than you think when he's on the get go. You know, like yesterday as well. You could add a tap in. I guarantee you lot will be screaming Weghorst's name now, because you know Garnacho, all he had to do is square it to him. That's a striker's finish.
Oh, and that's another one. Oh my god, that's another one.
There's another one. I think was it Bruno? I think it was Bruno. He underhit the cross. He peeled away from the defender in the first half, and he couldn't even beat the first man. He peeled away, and it was there, and he was done. And he always gets ignored. He's deceptively quick, but obviously his sprint speed is very slow. It's extremely slow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's annoying, but you know you can't.
Because he's got such a big body, if you've got the acceleration just enough to get your body in the way, you can bring the team in a little bit. And I just think maybe, I think without Casemiro, it just disjoints the team, and you are throwing in. No one knew that Wan-Bissaka was going to get ill and throw the low. That's his first game in since Charlton. Since Charlton, he done well in the end, in my opinion. Let's be honest. In the end.
Let's be honest. 3 players started yesterday that shouldn't have started: Garnacho, Sabitzer, and Dalot. They shouldn't be starting. Ease Dalot in. Ease Dalot in.
So who you starting midfield, my friend? Hold on a minute.
If everyone was available, you mean?
I'm saying.
Oh,
Ten Hag didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
in general, Ten Hag didn't have a choice. McTominay's not here as well, but I'm just saying these 3 players in an ideal situation would be getting brought in bit by bit, not like thrown just like that. But nonetheless, lads, let's be honest. It's Old Trafford. The crowd are behind you. You shouldn't be getting caught sleeping. Nobody went and tackled Wilfred when he's tiptoeing in the edge of the box. Tackle him. Somebody put a challenge and he just walked in front of you. No, that one I can't accept. I'll be honest with you.
Yesterday, you know what? Yesterday I wanted McTominay and Eric Bailly. This is the 2 players I wanted yesterday, just to get everything cleared. Just so we
Yeah,
have
I actually missed McTominay yesterday, Adam. I actually said that in a type of game where Leeds, he has quite a good record, and physically, the energy, the height, the way the game's just frantic.
I'd understand that. I'd understand that more, but then I would have had Sabitzer and Fred's role and keep Fred on the bench, innit?
Yeah, I wouldn't even have minded, to be fair. But obviously, McTominay, I'm not a big fan, of course. I'd be happy we replace him in the summer. But there's certain games that, horses for courses, he's good in, and I think that would have been.
I don't know about you. I want to credit Leeds, but I can't because you know what? Yes, they pressed from the get go. I get it, fans. Like you have to, but they had 2 shots on target.
Bro, they had
the
2
whole game.
shots, and as soon as we made the changes,
they punished us. They punished us. But were Leeds good, or will we just not that good? That's my brain at the moment.
I think Leeds got us at the right time. And one thing one thing I want to make clear, guys, I put a tweet out about it earlier. There's a lot of people that are disappointed by the result because you think about, where we're going to be in the title race. Some people think about that. But at the end of the day, we're still overachieving in terms of where we are right now. We're still in the top 4, still in 4 competitions, right? And I actually think, when you play for a team like Eric Ten Hag, when you play for a coach like Pep Guardiola, when you play for these type of, system or managers who have specific instructions, players get used to that rhythm. They get used to where they need to be. It's not like coming in for a team and it's just like, right, you slot in and we're just going to try and go for hell for leather and try and score some goals. These are system managers. And I think when you take out Casemiro, when you take out Wan-Bissaka, who's been on it, when you throw Garnacho in, I just feel like yesterday was one of them games where the rhythm was disrupted. There was no sort of fluidity. There was no cohesion. And it can happen. This is elite football. Injuries happen. Changes have to happen. And these players that need to come in need to be ready. But let's be honest, Sabitzer has not started yet. He wasn't fully ready. That's not his fault. Garnacho, that was his time to kind of show and impress, but he got caught out a little bit. He weren't one of his games, and Rashford got moved from the left where he's on form. And then Dalot, come on. If you're going to play a game, you don't want to be playing Leeds your first game back where it's just chaos, basically.
That's what I said, But he did well in the
one of them games. You don't want Dalot coming for that type of game. So I just feel like it's one of them games that we need to brush it off. We'll learn from it, but we're allowed kind of these setbacks under Ten Hag's first season. But the main thing is rhythm, Saeed. We just didn't have that rhythm yesterday. We couldn't control the game. We couldn't put 5 passes together. It was kind of just like throwing the players on the pitch and hoping something could happen. And something did in that second half. We got 2 goals. We got back in the game. But if we had that rhythm, we go on and probably get the third. We got the second probably out of adrenaline and stuff like that. But we just really lack that rhythm. When you play for
can we credit Leeds press though? Can we credit their press? Because they freaking pressed, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've not seen that aggression. The way they press and then straight away come back to their position. It's like a yo-yo. You know them yo-yo we used to play when we were young. We'll just fling him, he presses and he comes back. And what I've noticed is they don't press as in they don't fully commit. They don't. They almost scare you like they're gonna commit, and then they just come straight back because they know that Fred is gonna be
quick wingers. They can do the triggers.
Know.
They just got triggers, haven't they?
Yeah, that's it. That's right. They got the triggers. Oh, and it was so nice to see. It was good to see, to be honest.
Yeah, and I told you in the last debate show, I was scared of about Leeds because stylistically with Jesse March and Armaf, it just feels like the counter-pressing team with high intensity like that, coached by the Red Bull Leipzig stuff.
Yeah,
they were meant to actually cause us problems, like just stylistically, and we are not yet as good as we want to be. Like they wouldn't pose the same problems to a City team or a team that Ten Hag has coached for 3 years, but we are only 6 months in, so it's just stylistically felt like a clash. And it's just exactly what happened. It just happens that we have quality somehow and we manage it.
And we actually had key players out when you probably want them for that type of game.
Exactly, on top of it, absolutely.
Big up to everybody who's watching right now. There's 800 of you in the chat. Please smash a like on the video. You get me? Big up to the community as always. Subscribe to the Mandem. All their channels are in the description. I think this is a good point, from Gigato. The midfield still is an area that we need to kind of channel in the summer. You know what I mean? I know, but again, big up to Kobe Mino, by the way. He signed a new deal.
Yeah.
Big up to him. But I just feel like, no one came off the bench. Lindelof, for me, there's 2 substitutions killed off the game. Lindelof couldn't really do anything in that midfield. I know he tried and whatnot, but I think we need midfielders, man. We just need players that can control the game. When it gets a bit erratic like that yesterday, someone that can just control the game. Man United should be having that Old Trafford. We've had that for so many years. So I just feel like someone in that game to control the game. But I do think there's an over-reliance on Marcus Rashford. So people need to chip in with goals, man. And yes, Bruno's had it and whatnot. Martial, obviously, is not fit, Tyrone.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Anthony's come in with a few goals, but it is a case of Rashford again. He scored yesterday, but We need people to chip in, man, because
But you know
apparently he scored 25% of Man United's goal this season. Apparently, Max Rashford has scored.
The thing
That's
is,
not
if
that
you want the others to chip in with goals, there needs to be an environment in which they can chip in with goals.
Mm.
And I think if you remove Rashford from the pitch, you can actually start creating an environment in which you have many goal scorers. But when you have him on the pitch, look, we had the same thing. We had Rashford on the left, Mason Greenwood on the right, and then we had Cavani not scoring any goal. And now Cavani is better than Weghorst. And Ronaldo played with Rashford, and Ronaldo couldn't score goals for long periods of time. I think if we rely on him, well, then we rely on him. But we can't rely on him and then expect the others to score, because it feels at the moment that those two things cannot really happen simultaneously. He has that sort of impact. And if you're playing out wide, the only way we create chances is when Rashford plays and Martial plays at 9, or when Rashford plays at 9 and we have wingers out wide.
Okay, Adam, this is my question returned back for you then, right? We just said about Ten Hag and like 2, 3 years, 4 years into a job, that's when you have his proper system and you'll be able to overcome sort of all obstacles. You also said about Marcus Rashford, who right now is our most informed attacker based on the stats, obviously the goals and everything he scored, and he's playing well. Yeah. Right, you just said if he plays on the left, then the other people are not really scoring as much and stuff. If he plays as number 9, you think that then Sancho and Antony and others can create any other team, and the rest of the players can potentially chip in and score more. The fact is, we're going to go for a number 9 in the summer. Whether it's Victor Osimhen, Kane, it doesn't matter who it is. We're going to get a number 9 in the summer who's going to come in to start next season. So the fact is, Rashford is going to continue to be played on the left. So if Rashford is going to be continue to play on the left, and he's one of the star players right now, how does Ten Hag sort this long term then? That's my return question back to you, because he's going to play there.
He's going to play there at the moment. But if you ask me, if you want him playing now on the left,
No. Answer my question. We're going to get a striker in the summer, so that striker is going to play there. So Rashford is having to play on the left. So how does Ten Hag get the best out of him? Because we know his long-term future is not 9. It will be on the left.
Well, then, bro, I'm sorry, but he might just drop him, because if you think about it, he plays Garnacho.
No, wrong. I'll tell you, Adam. Then let me tell you this. Remember, Ten Hag's had to tweak his system for this year alone, and yet we're still playing one as a big 6 team. We're playing one at the deepest, right? We start very deep. Ten Hag doesn't typically start very deep. He likes his centre backs to build from the back. Don't get me wrong, but remember, he's used to playing up the pitch. Correct? Our fullbacks are still in position. It's only now that we're seeing fullbacks go a little bit further.
I think we'll have competition.
And they're there, but he doesn't allow them to be as adventurous as we'd like to, because he doesn't trust them. You know what? It's not even a striker that we need to sort out at the moment. For me, Adam, we still need to sort out the midfield. It's still so unbalanced that we can't dictate the way we want to. Sorry, go on, Saeed.
Yeah, I'm gonna. This is where your point comes into it. Big up to my guy Kane Max says salute. Just joined the stream. Big up to you, my bro. Have you guys discussed the possibility of Bruno being the issue while we don't create enough? By the way, Adam, I'm from MTL2. I'm guessing that's Minnesota. Montreal. Not Montreal.
Bruno, I don't think Bruno's no issue, because I like the way Bruno's been playing this season, and I've been one of his biggest enemies of any sort of progress of Man United in recent times. But I'm seeing him picking up positions which are very good. It's just that when it comes to a mobile striker, or even an available striker that I've been, backing, he's always have to change the ones that he's playing with at the moment. Do you get what I'm saying? When you get someone, that's why everybody wants a Victor Osimhen and that, because there's Bruno heroes that typically come off, but we don't ever get the end of.
Yeah,
no one's there because no one's got the attributes at the moment.
So what if we buy Kane then?
Yeah, but then Kane is good at holding up the ball, and he's got striker's instincts to get in the box and do his thing. Do you get what I mean? He'll run beyond the striker. At the moment, you're seeing a Bruno that doesn't really always run beyond the striker, but in last game you see it. Oh, because he's got Weghorst, but Weghorst isn't the best.
I'm not gonna lie, Martial and Bruno really work well, but Martial's not here, and it impacts.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. This is what I mean.
To answer your question, Ty, because I said I wouldn't be surprised if Ten Hag drops Rashford if he gets. I'm
shocked you said that, Adam.
Because you know why? Because you know what? Every time we have to play someone, when we don't have the full starting 11, if Antony's not there, for example, Sancho's not there, Rashford is the one being moved. Rashford, Garnacho plays in his preferred position, and then Sancho comes in and he plays in his preferred. And when we have,
what does that tell you then? That the squad is still not good enough because Rashford has got the attributes to do the job better than other players.
That's not what it tells you. Because if you tell me you want Rashford on his best position or Garnacho on his best position, The logical
Is it-
answer should be Rashford on his best position, but that's not what happens.
Yeah, but he tries to balance the team a lot better rather than you accommodating his best person on the left. That's what he tried to do
Yeah, I
yesterday.
agree
Because
with Cass.
Garnacho can't play on the
I
right.
think he
Who
tried
else is going to
balancing
play?
the
He's
team.
not going to throw Pelestri in his first. Is that his first Premier League start?
But
By
it
the
doesn't
way,
make sense.
first appearance. Sorry.
No, no,
Doesn't make
he's
sense.
not
No.
starting Premier League
We
game.
said 25% of Rashford's goals.
No,
yeah, are
Garnacho
Manchester United.
started. Garnacho
started on the right
started
second half,
Wolves,
innit?
no?
No, Pelestri.
No,
He's on
no,
about
Pelestri,
Pelestri.
Pelestri.
Pelestri, come on.
Oh,
Pelestri,
you
come
mean
on and made his
Pelestri,
his
okay.
first
We talk
Premier League.
about
I
20%
think
of goals.
I think
He have
Adam,
chipped in.
what Cass is saying is that for Rashford, obviously in his preferred position, yes, it would be on the left. But when you're looking for the balance of the team, he just said, you know what, Rashford, you could probably do a job out on the right and still impact a little bit. Whereas Garnacho coming in, but Ten Hag got it wrong. But I
got
think
it wrong.
Cass is trying to explain
Yeah,
how
but
Ten
then
Hag was trying
again-
to think.
But then again, if you think about
Okay,
it,
let me ask this question then. Let me ask this question.
Just quickly. If
Go
you
on,
think
go on.
about the balance, and who's going to give you more balance on the right? Well, it's probably Garnacho because he's more of the winger type who's going
Never
to
played-
actually
he
stretch the pitch.
doesn't play there, bro. He never has on even in his academy days, bro.
So he should have started Pelestri.
But neither
Should've
did
started
Rashford.
Pelestri, yeah.
The thing is, those
let me-
two players should not be
Yeah, I want to
playing.
hear what Faz has to say as well. Go on.
Let me ask you this question. We average roughly 1.8 goals this season so far. I'm getting a little echo, sorry. We get about 1.6 goals, right, on average. Rashford has been 25% of our contribution to all goals, right? If we 25, okay. If we take Rashford out, Marcus Rashford out of this squad, let's say, God forbid something happens, we take Marcus Rashford out. Will we still average 1.6 for the rest of the season?
We might average. I think we won't average 1.6 goals, but I think maybe I don't think we've got anyone that's clinical. But I think our chance creation could go up because you're taking away that element, meaning you're gonna have someone. But I think it just depends who he starts, though. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is that people need to understand it's not that I dislike Rashford. I'm looking at the profile and I'm looking at what makes the most sense. And if you look at everything considered, like I used to love Rashford. He's not my type of player. He's not my favorite player, but he has very good attributes, and we are lucky that he's been in very good form, goal-scoring form recently. This is not against Rashford, but if you take a look at the thing, at the big picture, those things that he does and the way we play without him or with him elsewhere on the pitch, there are actually massive differences. The team plays.
So Adam,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Adam, if all our players are fit, right? I got a feeling that you have Sancho left, Martial up top, and then someone else on the right. Am I correct?
It depends. I wouldn't mind having Rashford up. If let's suppose we say, because the thing is, as much as I like Sancho, Anthony, and Martial, we cannot have only. You can't only have players who are good at linking. You need a goal scorer somewhere.
I feel like it should be. I feel like I get what you're trying to say, but I feel like you're not fully convicting in what you're trying to say. Because I just asked you a question.
Yeah.
You're saying about Rashford on the left, but then I'm saying, okay, so you'd have Sancho on the left. You're like, oh, but maybe. Then I'm saying if Rashford plays up top, but then we get a proper number 9, his long-term place is going to be on the left-hand side, and then it's like you're like and ahhing, because these are scenarios I'm putting at you. If you really think Rashford is a problem, then you wouldn't have him in the team then.
Yep.
No, the thing is, if I have Anthony Martial at 9, I wouldn't have Anthony and Sancho necessarily on the wing, because you need someone. Martial is going to link up, and those players are going to link up, and then they're going to link up for who? Someone needs to shoot. Someone needs to score. So if you have Anthony Martial, I'd still have Rashford on the left. That makes the most sense.
If you have a Victor Osimhen, who's not really a link up man, he's more of a gunman striker, then would you play Rashford on the left, or would you have a Sancho?
I would have a Sancho.
Okay,
then who's going to be who's our pace outlet then on the wings?
Well, you have teams playing without necessarily having the pace that Rashford has.
You use Osimhen's pace.
You need Okay, then we can bring this back to see. Look how fast Haaland is, and look how weak they are on pace on the wings.
Yeah,
want to play with that? It's predictable then.
They are not weak.
Let's go back to. I want to go back to the Bruno situation, because I just think for me, listen, I love Bruno, but I think for me in the summer, I think there still needs to be that situation where we need to look at a number 10 that will help the team play better as well. Not that saying Bruno isn't helping the team play better, but I'm talking about in the final third where we need some sort of guy to just drop in the shoulders, drop in the little half turns, the in between the lines. I just think sometimes Bruno, he gets dragged wide, he gets dragged there. Just stay and operate in that zone like an Odegaard. This is why I like Odegaard. And I'm not saying Odegaard's a 10, he's an 8. But I just want someone just to motor around in there when things are going to be low block like they are, Tyrone. I'll come to you first. But I just feel like sometimes, and that's the reason why Weghorst wasn't getting any service, because Bruno kept going all over there, then all over there. And I'm like, bro, stay in one position, man.
He'll
And
never
that's
be.
are we thinking the same player right now? Are we thinking the same player right now that could do that job that is on loan at the moment? That kind of player that's like Erdegaard, that drops the shoulder like Erdegaard.
Thinking of maybe of an Ahmad.
Oh, new
How about
question.
Diallo?
Do you know what? Do you know what?
Right.
He could be a very creative little spark in there. But I'll be honest with you as well. I'm with you. I'm the Odegaard type of number 10, the David Silva, you know, the Mesut Ozil controller number 10, picking up great positions, always rely, you know, you can always bank on him to get that right pass and, you know, be involved in the game. I just think Bruno is, I just said it on my stream on Trafford Tunnel. He is what it is. Saeed, we've got to accept Bruno for what he is. He's not going to always give you great pass completion. He's going to give you a bit of chaos, but then he'll come out with some big moments in some big games at times, and it won't be consistent. Right now, in a team that's not consistent as much at the moment, Bruno is showing what he shows. You know, the best of Bruno, will we see it when Ten Hag's got his full team together? We might not. That actually might show Bruno's flaws even more because we'll have a team that's really working and Bruno might actually fall short in that. So
Sick answer, because I was going to say the same thing. I don't know if you agree, Faz, as well, yeah? Because we obviously, when you're at the stadium, you can see something different from what TV shows. If you give a ball player in this midfield, right? Number 8 that can keep the ball. He doesn't need to drop so deep. Bruno can do where Fred is. Stay up top, do your thing. Be your creative midfielder. Drop and press what you usually do. But you don't need to come so deep. You know what I mean?
Let me just address Jose, because he wants to make this about David De Gea. But I'm gonna let the floor go. Is David De Gea wrong for that? Is he culpable for that goal because he doesn't collect the ball? You know what I mean? I think that's the first phase of play. The second phase of play, Garnacho then loses the ball, and then we don't defend. You know what I mean? So is David De Gea culpable for the goal? Because again, if you want to make this about David De Gea, let Jose have his moment. So anyone that wants to take the floor, take the floor. Adam, maybe, I don't know. Who wants it?
I'm not going to blame anyone these days. These days, I'm not really into blaming people. I don't think De Gea should stay in the long run, to be honest. I would go for another keeper. But there's absolutely no... And people think I have a go at players like Bruno, Rashford, and De Gea. It's not that I have a go. It's just you can criticize players because we are looking for the team's best interest. And you could say De Gea was at fault, but then again, Dalot was not in top form yesterday. I think Fred had an absolute shocker yesterday. So it's a team game. So when I'm talking about a player addressing the whole picture, saying it's a team game, it's a team game in every regard. So yes, you could blame De Gea for this and that, but yesterday, De Gea is De Gea. So you're going to get some and you're going to lose some with him. We know what he does. And I'm not really going... I'm not... It's not my main focus, to be honest. I don't think I see him in the long run. For the time being, we need better goalkeeper, of course, but we need better midfielders. We need better centre-backs as well as backups. So maybe you could blame De Gea, but then again...
I think long term, I'm long term side. I'll be honest with you. I'm like Adam. Just sum it up short. I like De Gea. I like what he's done, but I think long term he is not the right goalkeeper. But right now, if you're telling me right, we're going to sign 4 players in the summer, I'm happy for De Gea to stay another year because I don't think it's the main priority. But it is a position we need to change. I do think we need to recycle and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man. I think that was, I mean, time will tell on that one. Let's talk a bit about the ownership. Faz, what's the access saying? Are we still hearing Qataris? What's going on? What's the latest? I know you're gonna.
There's a couple now. What kind of access? There's a couple players. There's a couple players in the game right now who might be interested. That's all I've heard. But the most likely one is the Qataris. What I do know is apparently things might get wrapped up or officially wrapped up by April. So there will be, what I can tell you is people who are working on the news of this, they are actually working on a timeline. So a timeline will be Sheikh Fazim. They'll be working on a timeline of a few
Faz, you heard Sheikh Fazim and got excited.
Like Glazers have hats. They saw Faz. They said, "Where's the we made you sign a non-disclosure agreement? What are you doing, Faz?
Bro, you signed the to get the access. Yeah, you signed the NDA. You know what I mean? To get the access."
Saeed, let me say one thing. Yeah, I'll tell everyone in this chat.
Sorry.
Why Jim Ratcliffe needs to stay far away from this club, yeah? And I'll tell you exactly why. On Bloomsburg and all the business things. All in all, it's the banks. Remember this, banks, yeah?
Sherrick,
including Goldman. I'll just say it because I'm not on my Twitter thing, including Goldman Sachs are ready to back a takeover bid from Ratcliffe. If an offer is made, the banks will cover the value of Manchester United's existing debt, which amounts to 800 million. So you know that big debt that we've been talking about to get rid of, he's going to use debt to get rid of debt. Do you want to be in more debt? And all he's going to do is...
None of the people who twerk for Jim Ratcliffe come outside.
So yeah,
Come
so
outside now.
For
You
people that don't
twerk for
know,
Jim
in
Ratcliffe.
cash, in hard cash, I'm spitting facts, right? In hard cash, Jim Ratcliffe only has $1 to $2 billion or pounds. Sorry, pounds. So a loan to cover a loan, and what he's going to make sure to cover the eyes of Manchester United fans, he's going to move that loan and move it to a parent club, business, whatever it might be. So he doesn't. The debt is not on Manchester United directly, but the debt still exists. That's a parasite, bro. So this Manchester United fan that everyone wants, I think he's got to cover in glory. He's got 2 other clubs, who also could be in the Champions League, meaning he has going to have what does that mean? If one club gets Champions League and another one does, when you've direct control, meaning one of them clubs can't play in the Champions League, the same things that they're going on to the Qataris about, even though the Qataris are doing individual business and nothing to do with QSI and QIA. They might be investors, which means they might own a 20% or 40% in it. That doesn't matter. You could do that in many clubs.
I'm with you.
Lastly, with the whole thing with Ratcliffe as well, that I think Danny was pointing out on Spaces about everything that he wants to do. He said he wants to raise the value of Manchester United, meaning he's not going to privatize it, right? It's going to still be on a stock market. There you go. So everyone that wanted Ratcliffe in, now you can have him out because he was just going to do what Glazers do, but then he's just going to be the British version of Glazers and make things look pretty and out the eyes of Manchester United fans. Yeah? Cool. There we go.
Yeah. The only thing we have to kind of differentiate, Adam, is whether QSI and QIA have what I would say, I don't know, an agreement together or they have some sort of involvement together. Still, they claim that they don't. Obviously, what's said and what's in written and law are 2 different things. So as long as the QIA have no involvement in QSI, then we should be all good and they should blow away everyone else that's in line. So that's all I'm waiting for. Obviously, we'll hear about that sooner or later. They're reassuring us that there's no conflict of interest. Obviously, we have to find out, but what's your kind of your take on this whole situation?
Yeah, and Bun Ratcliffe, to be honest, I can't be having that. Not interested one bit. No. Another thing. Now this is actually a good point you're making between the QSI and the other one is
QIA.
Yeah, QIA.
But the thing is, Ratcliffe owns a League One club too,
and another one.
And so basically, PSG are a League One club and Nice are a League One club, and they are both with owners who want to buy United. It's the same thing. I don't understand what people are twerking for Ratcliffe when it's actually the very same thing. And if people are telling me, but Nice don't play Champions League football, you cannot have law based on but they are not really good enough to qualify for top 4. That's not serious. That's not serious. So I just don't get it. And I think they're going to work it out to buy United. They are going to make sure that the paper. Bro, this whole World Cup was not legit, so I think they can work out this QSI thing very easily. So they are going to get through it, and I hope they get the deal done. I really hope.
And QSI, the thing is as well, like I've already read up as well. QSI won't have a direct control, or there's no interest in making in competing. It's just investing. That was the only. So it'd be like a third party kind of thing. Nothing of great value, really, rather than being an investor in whatever consortium. It'll be an individual thing. So we don't even know who actually might take direct control.
Yeah, because the owner, the Athami, I think
Altani.
Altani, yeah. I think if you look on Forbes, his net worth is 2.5 billion, which is not enough. But we know that his net worth is not 2.5 billion. So the investing thing makes sense. So these guys
only have like 1 or 2 billion
official
on the officials. So yeah, and then unofficially they might have way more.
Exactly.
Let's be honest. Nobody wants Manchester United to be delaying any form of upgrade in the stadium or anything as such. We want instant injection in stadium. We want instant injection in the players, instant backing of Ten Hag. Some people prioritize stadium more than players. Some people prioritize X than Y. But whatever it is, we want to get back to a level where we can be proud of everything of our club. And the only people who could make that happen is the Qataris. All this talk about moral issues and etc. Well, the same people that complained about moral issues were the same people that were busting it open for the World Cup. And where was your morality then? And let's be honest, Jim Ratcliffe ain't in bed with the most cleanest people as well. There is no morality when it comes to this type of things. You know, every owner's got skeletons in their closet and etc. What can you do? This is pathetic. At the end of the day, Manchester United should go to the owners who want to invest in the club. The club, we don't need to cook our books. We make our own money. We need someone who will take us and let us compete at the highest level, inside and outside. That's the most important thing.
Because you know what? I think the most important thing, we want an owner whose wealth and fortune doesn't come from his businesses. We want someone who's rich and his wealth comes from elsewhere. Like Chelsea's owner, Abramovich. He was rich before Chelsea. He doesn't rely on Chelsea. That's why American owners and British owners are not that great, because they're investing in sports. So they're expecting to make money out of the sport. This is not something we want. And the Qatari, as you said, Faz, very good point. They could actually bring the money cash in Louis V luggage. It's easy for them.
No, but Adam, this super chat, I'll read this out. I know who this person is. They you want to see me? These lot want to. This is a Liverpool fan. This is a Liverpool fan who said, let them rot. No, not big up. Let them rot. I know why he's doing this. Every time Faz crashes it on me, United drop points the next day. It's because I was.
Oh, it's Omo.
Yeah. Oh. No, it's not Omo. It's not Omo.
No, it's a different one.
It's a different one.
It's someone. Yeah, it's someone. Maguire deserves a chance. Regards, Ariam. No. If you want Maguire, let's make a deal happen, because I know Joe Gomez and Van Dijk, they've been tiptoeing and touching their toes a bit too much. So please stop. Liverpool fans, stay out of this conversation.
Big up Omo Knows for the super chat. This is basically a quick update and a kind of roundup of the situation at Man United. So 5 groups expected to battle over takeover. Bids already received. Wow. Saudi groups requested access to financials. So the data, they want to see the data. Heavy interest in investing, commercial moves, full sale still likeliest outcome. So that's what we're you know what I mean? That's the latest right now. And it's essentially going to be a bidding war. The deadline, when is it? The deadline again? Is it the 16th?
17th.
Soft deadline.
So next week,
deadline.
Friday.
Soft deadline.
It's going to be like an auction. I was literally on Gooni's channel, and I said to him, once the first official, well, it says obviously there's bids already received. Once the first official bid goes in, they're going to get told about it. And it's like, right, they've bid 4 million. Do you want to go 4.5? Right, we'll go 4.5. They'll go 5. And whoever bids the highest offer, obviously the Glazers are likely to accept. I just think that I wished it would be a case of if an offer did come in, which was a little bit less than someone else, but them people wanted to invest in what Faz is saying, like the training ground, the facilities, and do the right thing for the club. I would like the Glazers to accept the lesser offer, because they could see what someone's coming in with an actual ambition to benefit the club. But I think
I wish they cared about ambition.
It will never happen.
Come on, if we owned it, you're getting the biggest offer. You're like, cool, we sell it. We move on. That's what we do.
Do you know what the difference is not going to be too different in terms of, because I've heard the Qataris want to pay what they feel is the club is worth to them, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to go over, like, but think about it. We're talking about 4.5 to 5 billion. That's probably going to be the market in pounds, maybe, right? That's 500 million difference. That's still a lot of money. Someone's going to offer you an extra 100 million on top of just a 4.5. You'll be like, what? 100 million? What can I do for 100 million?
And one thing I want to make clear as well is that whether the Glazers value it at 6 billion, 7 billion, or 8 billion, let me just tell you guys now, we're not going to get that offer. And I agree with the Saudis or Qataris or whoever gets this club. and then they bid 4, 5, 6 billion, whatever it is, because what you've got to think of is the stuff they've got to do, Saeed. They're not walking into a club, right? Say we're Man City right now, forget the financial situation, but say 6 months ago we're Man City. If you sell, they've got a new training ground, their stadium's absolutely fine, they've got a great youth development, they're branching out abroad of their marketing and their clubs and whatever it is. You come in and you're like, okay, well, as Man own it, what have we got to do? We don't actually have to do much. We've just got to sustain and put our own stamp on things. The new owners of Manchester United have got to come in, do the stadium, revamp this, revamp that. There's a list that they've got to do. So if I'm coming to you, Saeed, and you own Manchester United right now, I'm coming to you and saying, I want to buy your club. I'm going to offer you this. And the reason I'm going to offer you this and not what you want is because I'm going to have to spend my money repairing 100%. this, and this. So what the Glazers want and what the real value is definitely going to be less. They're going to have to pump their own money in after they take the club over.
Yeah, and that's again why they've said 8 billion. It's what it will probably take to
in dollars,
you know
right?
what I mean, fully. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see, man. People talking about the Super League. I just found it crazy, man. The Super League is come back, but it just shows you how desperate these clubs are. They are desperate because the Premier League, whether we like it or not, is a mini Super League anyway. Because we can go and get the best players in the world. We can offer astronomical wages. We can offer, you know, it's just the best league in the world, and it is quote unquote like the Super League. But that's why, you know, Real Madrid, Barcelona, who else was it? Juventus.
Of course, Juventus. Of course, they're involved in it.
Yeah, of course, those are good.
So I jealousy's a bitch, man. Leave them to it, man. I'm happy with the Premier League. You want to separate? Do your thing, man. Cool.
Yeah. You know what? The thing is, I'm against this Super League thing. I think it's a disgrace. But then again, you need to think about those clubs who have players like Brighton, players with 20 appearances, and they ask for £100 million. And you need to slow down and take a breath. That's not going on. That's not on. This is what happens with those clubs. Like, yeah, we're rich. We want to buy the players and find this and that. But you can't ask 120 millions for Declan Rice. Are you having a laugh?
Yeah, but
as much as I'm against it, like I don't want it to happen. No, just so people don't get it confused. I don't want it to happen. But I can see
today, so we'll see. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here. There's still 900 of you in the chat, guys. We should be on at least 500 likes. I'm asking for too much there? 500 likes? I don't know.
Asking for nothing, man. It's harder not to like.
Yeah, exactly. But there you go, man. Tyrone has said it right there. It's harder not to like people. So please, guys, make sure you like the damn video, man. I appreciate everybody supporting the channel. Like I said, people, Boohoo Man. For 40% off, use the QR code on the top of your screen next to Kaz, or go down in the link in the description. Use the code Saeed to get 40% off. Tyrone, man, let them know. Back like Trafford Tunnel's back. You get me? Let them know.
Yeah,
bro.
man. Big up. Yeah. Shout out to everyone who see the panel every single time, man. Make sure you go and subscribe to Never a Foul, our generic channel. Casting It live there now at 7:30 instead now. So make sure you go and look over to that channel tonight, our generic. Trafford Tunnel as well. All our Manchester United content back on there. That's up and running again. Subscribe to Faz. Big up Mandem, my guy, every single time. And hopefully, yeah, man, me and Saeed can get something cooking as well. Maybe even if it's once a week or whatever.
There you go.
Half an hour thing. So yeah, man, big up everyone. Like this video now.
There you go, people. Make sure you go do that. Like I said, Never a Foul, 7:30. Make sure you tune in. Big up to Kazman. You know what I'm saying to him? Make sure you get me. You bring your jacket next time. And don't complain about
the better jacket. No, because you know what it is, yeah? I'll bring the next jacket, and it's going to be hot in Manchester. Like, not hot, but warm enough. And I'm thinking, like, bro, I'm sweating. Yeah. You know when we do our walk here, I'm sweating, bro. Like, literally.
5 weeks. Clocks change as well, man. It'll get brighter soon as well.
Yeah, it'll get brighter soon, man. It'll get brighter soon.
That walk is great now. I used to hate it. I love it.
Yeah, man, it's good, man. It's a therapeutic walk, man.
It was so hot yesterday, yeah. My head was so hot. I said, Saeed, I don't want to get nothing. I want to walk back. No, but I need to blow off steam.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. It's all love. It's all love. Big up to obviously Miss Access, Mr. Faz. You know what I'm saying? What are you saying,
man?
This
name, cause you lot putting unnecessary pressure on me.
We have to
like
give you.
It's not already pressure.
We're giving you big up, man. We're trying to say big up, man.
Check Faz, man.
Bro, the squad, bro, people are seeing news on Twitter. They're tagging me saying, "Is this real?" I said, "Bro, why are you asking me?
Why are you asking me? This is Ten Hag gets there early, man. You know what I mean? So fair play. You have to keep up with Ten Hag, man.
Bro, I have to. I think at this point he must know me by now because I wear a big jacket. I wear the same jacket every time, so he must know me by now. He's looking at me thinking, why is this guy not saying anything? Because every time I see him, I shout something. I shout like buy a player, dude. Like January window, I said buy someone. I was gonna say yesterday. I was gonna say, shake hug, shake Ten Hag.
What's the new one? Eric Ten Habibi, man. That's a new
Yeah,
one.
Eric Ten
Habibi,
Habibi,
man.
yeah, I said that. I said that Eric Ten Habibi. But yeah, big up everyone. I'm live shortly as well, so you can catch me on my channel. Big up Saeed and the Mandem as
There you
always,
go,
man.
man.
Thank you
Big
very
up, man.
much.
Big up. And big up to the professor, man, like Adam. You get me? You're working hard, you're studying hard, innit?
Yeah, I'm leaving for university right now, man. I had to say something. I just had to come in and say something. So
Come on,
thanks
man.
for having
Always,
me. Man.
man.
Pleasure talking to you.
Always. That's it, people, man. Listen, people, I'm going to be back tomorrow for Rivals Talk with me and Grizz Khan. And then, yeah, man, big weekend, man. Sunday game, you know what I mean? It's going to be a tough one, man. I ain't going to lie to you, man. If you thought this was tough, the cauldron, the kind of the atmosphere at Leeds, it's a big rivalry, man. Go look up on it, man. The War of the Roses, man. This is the reason why Man United and Leeds don't get on, man. It's a big rivalry. But listen, people, we're out, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace.